Welcome back to another prediction for the Friday. Today the race is gonna be in Canada, as you can see, if you know the corner, if you know the racetrack, if you have been following F1 for as long as I have, or longer perhaps. It's gonna be late if you are living in Europe. If you are living in Asia, it's gonna be at the after midnight, and if you're living in America, then it's gonna be in a suitable time for you as per usual, as every year is. So let's start as we normally do with the quick news. Red Bull was planning to do in September some runs in the Nordschleife with RB7 and RB8, if I am not mistaken. Verstappen wanted to have a go, but Helmut Marko said he was not allowed to take part on that. He has to concentrate on the championship. So Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo will be doing it. Remember, I don't think they will try to do the fast lap, to be honest, because the fast lap was done with Porsche hybrid, with everything hybrid on that car. And the racetrack record is like 5 minutes 21 seconds, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think it's around 5 minutes. We do have some, perhaps, cost cap changes coming up. We saw James Vowles, the team principal of Williams, saying previously, this week and the earlier week, that Williams had some of their facilities and technologies like 20 years outdated, and with the cost cap, they were not able to invest to try to catch up with teams we have now, right? So how is he supposed to try to come back from the back of the grid, right? So he proposed. I think actually this was proposed a long time ago. To try to change this, it was him at the beginning of this year who proposed this change in the cost cap to allow teams with, let's say, less good results as Red Bull, Ferrari, and all these teams, to be able to allow to be able to invest in infrastructure and technology improvement, and this should be out of the cost cap, as long as it can be a good investment. Like at the beginning of the year, it was supposed to have the idea of like being like eco and green and all these things, but I think this has another direction. They just want to improve their facilities to be able to try to come back from the back of the team and from the back of the grid, sorry. And there will be a meeting at the end of July, July. Many mistakes today. I don't know what's wrong with me. And they will be discussing this. He has hopes that this will be allowed and approved. So we might be seeing teams like Williams, for example, or perhaps AlphaTauri, I don't know, investing into trying to catch up with their facilities into newer ages, right? Instead of having 20-year-old dated technologies. There will be 6 manufacturers of engine suppliers at least, or yeah, right. We will have Honda, Mercedes, Ferrari, Alpine, and Audi, and Ford. Making mistakes once again, not my best day. Doesn't matter. The point is to have the message. So we will have 6 engine suppliers, and in theory, these 6, whoever has these 6 engines will have a manufacturer's contract, right? Well, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Alpine for sure, Audi for sure, and Ford has a deal with Red Bull, and Honda with Aston Martin. The other 4 teams will be client teams. Gunther Steiner said that they have no interest in being a manufacturer team or transitioning into a manufacturer team, because that will have a lot of changes and a lot of difficulties, a lot of pressure as well. And Haas is not interested in that. They just want to be a client team. They want to do things their way, or his way, or whatever, or Gene Haas's way, and they are happy like that. So probably they will continue having a client engine, and of course client power units and gearboxes and all these things that come with it, as they do now with Ferrari. Which the question is, will they continue with Ferrari or will they change to another one, right? Haas being a USA team, it could be hinted that they might change into Ford power units, for example. But is it really recommendable, having the experience of Honda, how long they took to make the whole thing work, right? Of course, Red Bull being involved in the project means that Red Bull and AlphaTauri will be having Ford engines. Will Haas join them? I don't know. We will see. There's nothing set yet. So yeah. W Series going bankrupt. The championship has been given to administrators to try to make it not go bankrupt, actually. They don't have sponsorship, they don't have funding, they don't have money, they don't have anything, basically. There's a lot of people in that championship that might lose their job, such as drivers, such as teams, such as right, all the infrastructure done so the women could have their own championship might actually go to nothing after all. It's 2023, nothing has started yet. Remember that the FIA has another championship, how is it called, the F1 Academy, sorry, yeah, for female drivers, which is running, by the way. But the W Series looks like it's bound to extinction after 3 years of championship. I mean, nobody knew about it. They didn't have a lot of commercial, or whatever you want to call it, merchandising, right? Media echoing. There's not much. People were not interested in this championship, as well as people are not interested in other championships, like the F3 Euro Series or whatever you want to call it. Those championships survive in another way. So yeah, corner cutting solved. If you can identify this is the first corner of the Canada Grand Prix. Usually if you mix the apex and there is some grass here, which previously was all the thing here, you would just cut the corner and join this way, right? You would cut corner 1 and 2. This will not be like this anymore this year. There is a new barrier here that will not allow the drivers to go this way. You cannot cut the corner anymore. You have to either go to the grass or turn back and give the corner, which I'm gonna guess they will do this, the first one. They will just go to the grass, right? Also for security issues, if there is an accident here, which is an interesting place to have accidents, cars might go there and hit somebody else. Also safety issue. So one of the corner cuttings solved. Barrier, I don't know if that's the best solution, but we will see. We will see, because there is a high-speed straight, kind of a straight line before that corner. So I don't know if a barrier is the best solution. Sergio Perez has been doing some bad races recently, and Red Bull, even before these races, they were already considering perhaps Perez's time in Red Bull is over, right? A lot of rumors, a lot of whispering, hearsay, whatever you want to call it, about his future. Of course, he will say that he is very happy there and blah, blah, blah. But there are already, of course, all these rumors come from the UK, where Red Bull is from, and where the next driver could be from. Looks like Red Bull is trying to get Lando Norris to join their team, where alongside Max Verstappen. They think it's a good talent for the future, as other teams also do, right? Mercedes apparently was having their eyes on him as well, should Lewis Hamilton retire from F1 to try to snatch it from McLaren. Or Oscar Piastri is another one, but looks like they have a good contract with McLaren, so we will see what happens with that. This is just, as you know, silly season starting already. Usually it starts around this time until the end of the year. So yeah, the race. This is the Canada Grand Prix layout. You can see there is the speed trap before corner 13. You can see here, this is the Wall of Champions, the main straight line, sectors 1, 2, and 3. You have 3 DRS zones. And remember, for this one, the DRS detection zone is this one. So the same detection zone is for this and this DRS. So it's gonna be an interesting thing. A tough racetrack, difficult to overtake, by the way, not impossible, but difficult. There's not many places to overtake. And looks like we might have a rainy race. As you can see here, the chances of rain is 60%, chances for rain for Saturday 80%, chances of rain for Sunday 40%. The temperature 23 degrees for the race, more or less. For the qualifying 19 degrees, for the free practice 17 degrees. It's gonna be a cold Grand Prix, and especially if it's raining, it's gonna be an interesting. Canada races usually could be interesting with mixed conditions, I would say, if people remember that victory from Jenson Button with 6 pit stops. But yeah, looks like we might have a wet weekend. The racetrack, you can see the track evolution is F5. It's a semi-urban racetrack, street racetrack, however you want to call it. It's a place that is used not for racing the whole year. It's open for the public. The asphalt grip, as you can see, it's also very low. Asphalt abrasion, very low, as it's a common thing for urban racetracks, right? Downforce, low. As you can see, there's not high-speed corners, and you have big things to lose in these 2, 3, 4 straight lines. So, yeah, low downforce. Not a lot of lateral things, as I said, not high-speed corners. Traction, extremely important, especially in this corner, where you want to try to get out of the corner as fast as you can. Braking, this racetrack is a brake killer. Many years before, you could see actually cars failing with the brakes, right? You can see that carbon dust coming off the brakes. Many radio messages telling the drivers to slow down with the brakes because it's a brake killer. And tire stress, 3, like I said, not many things on it. 4.3 kilometers long, 70 laps, 305 kilometers of race, and we have C3, C4, C5. So this is the softest compounds possible, as usually we have in urban race tracks. So the prediction for the Grand Prix. Last year it was Red Bull dominance, and I think this year, seeing that there is a big gap between Red Bull and the rest, I think it's kind of easy to predict that the pole position might be either to Verstappen or Perez, but I think it's going to be for Verstappen, even though Perez isn't a kind of expert, let's say, in street racetracks. This is semi-street racetrack, so perhaps he will have a chance, but I think Max Verstappen will be the one doing the pole position based on the results from last year, for example, right? If Perez has a clean weekend, he should be the second, and they should have it kind of easy. I think Fernando Alonso, there is rumors saying that Aston Martin will be bringing a big evolution here, so they should give a step forward, especially if it's raining, by the way. Alonso is also a good rain driver, as is Lewis Hamilton, for example, which I put fourth thanks to the Mercedes updates. Leclerc should be having a good weekend. He did when the car was okay. He did a good race here as well. George Russell, which I finally wrote it correctly again. The Alpines look like they might be in the battle. Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll in the home Grand Prix, and Esteban Ocon. This is my prediction. Of course, things can go wrong, especially if it's raining. Things might change, and other teams could be in the battle. I was actually thinking to put Alexander Albon in P10 with the Williams, because this is a high-speed racetrack and the Williams should be going well here. However, if there is no anything, I think the first 5 teams, the top 10, they have it for them, if no problems. So yeah, this is gonna be it more or less. Let's enjoy the weekend and see you on Monday after the race with the evaluation and so on. Stay tuned, take it easy, and let's enjoy the rainy weekend.